Hey, it is an unstoppable day. It's your boy, Terrence, the unstoppable Coach Leffridge, coming to you with a special edition of the Unstoppable Story Show, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. Thank you so much for joining us. It's our annual 21 Days of Gratitude. Absolutely, 21 Days of Gratitude, where we talk about gratitude as we're leading up to the Thanksgiving season. I always talk about how I love this season even more than Christmas because Christmas has become so commercialized. It's more about the gifts than it is about the real reason for the season. But when you talk about Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving has a history and it has a story related to it. Thanksgiving actually came from the pilgrims and the harvest. They wanted to celebrate the harvest that came from all their work, all their toil, all their labor in the fields, all the sowing of seeds and the tilling of the fields. And it grew the produce and it grew the products that they were able to ship and sell and really build their business. And so they decided that it was because of that they wanted to be thankful for the harvest and they wanted to show it in a very public way, the spirit of thanksgiving. And that's how Thanksgiving was formed. So whenever I think about Thanksgiving, I think about the harvest. I think about the time where you're not just the leaves are changing and the seasons changing, but about how you have now be able to look back over what you went through, how you grew through it, and to be thankful for all that God, my God, whatever you want to call them, you call them whatever that is, but thankful for all that you have been giving over the course of that season. So many times people take for granted what they're grateful for. So what better way than to have 21 days of gratitude to give you the opportunity to sit back and to think about what you're grateful for. We've been doing this now for maybe 5, 6 years on the Unstoppable Story Show, and I never cease to find a new thing to be grateful for. And I never cease to find a new person that wants to talk about something that they are grateful for. So we are going to jump right into the 21 days of gratitude with our special guest this evening. I'm grateful for meeting this gentleman just a couple of months ago. We sowed seeds, we exchanged information back in probably July of this year. And since that, I've seen this person grow in the family of BTBY, becoming the better you. And I've also seen this person grow as a speaker by taking our class and our course, Becoming the Best Speaker. You'll get more information about that later on in the commercial. But what I'm really excited about is what his passion is and what he's grateful for. He's got a couple of things that he's grateful for. One of them is the ability to help people get better in their finances each and every day through the products and services that he shares. And you guys, I want you to know that this guy, he's not only great at what he does, he's bullish about helping you in your financial future. So let's welcome to the stage our special guest for the first day of the 21 days of gratitude on the Unstoppable Story Show. It's my friend Caleb Bullard. Hey, Caleb.
Hey, Terrence. I'm
How are
so
you?
I'm great. I'm blessed and highly favored. I love talking about gratitude and attitude of gratitude. Real shout out anybody listening. If you got a friend or family member and you got to want to talk about gratitude, having that attitude of gratitude, especially with Thanksgiving around the corner, get them on this call. Let's come support Terrence.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on LinkedIn, if you're watching us on the Unstoppable Story Facebook channel, come on in, chime on in. If you're watching us live, I want you to put the number 1 in the comments. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and put that number 2. We'll give you a shout out as well. But Caleb, you know what? I believe that I can never introduce a person as well as they can. So why don't you take about 30 seconds and let our audience know who Caleb Bullard is?
Yes, well, first off, I appreciate all you guys taking the time to listen in, to hear us share our stories of gratitude. A little bit about me. I was in the Army for 6 years. I was a police officer for 2 and had an injury where I was forced to figure out what I wanted to do, right? What was the next move for me? Well, at the same time, I saw COVID-19 affect a relative's 401k. And when I saw them have to come out of retirement to work a part-time job, I said, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want that to happen to anybody else. So I got myself into the financial services space where now I reveal the secrets of the wealthy so that you can have the finances to dream again.
Wow, that is fantastic. And so I'm sure you have a lot of grateful clients that work with you after you give them all those financial strategies and help them get on a positive trajectory in their finances. But tell me a little bit more about why you decided to go into financial services in the first place.
Yeah, so I was looking around and I realized that business would be the way to go. I got some pretty crazy big dreams. Everybody else on this call has some big dreams. And I realized to make these dreams happen, I would need more capital than just working a normal 9 to 5. I was thinking about going to college to be a doctor, but I was like, I don't want to have $300,000-$400,000 in medical, school debt. So I decided to look into entrepreneurism. And my uncle's in entrepreneurism. I saw him become very successful, and I was like, I think I could do that. That's something that I want to do. I liked real estate. Started watching YouTube videos, and it led me into connecting with people. I started going to events and connecting with people. I know I don't want to jump ahead too far and talk about the connections, but it's so important to make sure that you're connecting with the right individuals and getting around the right people, sitting at the right tables of people that are already at where you want to be. But I saw the financial services space was the number one opportunity, the number one industry that actually makes more millionaires than any other industry. So I decided, hey, let's take a look at it. I tried a lot of different companies. I tried a lot of different things, trying to find that right niche where it was, yes, we're helping people with the finances, but it was more than that. We were helping people with all 5 F's: your faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun, right? If we got the best finances in the world, but our relationships aren't where we want them to be, our health isn't good, well, what does it matter? There's a lot of successful people that are miserable because they're not winning in all those categories. So I really try to encourage people with personal development. That's something that's been game changing for me. You wouldn't recognize me 3 years ago, a much less confident version of Caleb. But I had actually a compliment the other day. I don't know if I took it as a compliment, but someone said, "Man, you talk a lot." And it's like, I think about myself. Oh, it's totally different. So that's what I tell you. You can transform your life from where you are. If you just put the work in, you can transform yourself. This, you'll see the advertisement for it, but the BTBY system, the program, is completely amazing. I was actually going to the event. I saw, firsthand what they're doing, how they're helping families, and also getting involved with their Become the Better Speaker program too. It's been really great. They definitely got my support on that end. So I got a financial services space to make the finances, to make a big enough change, and also because of that story I was just sharing with you, where it's personal to me because I saw a relative have to come out of retirement due to the fact that they didn't have the right information. I always tell people it's not information that will kill you. It's having the wrong information that will kill you. So I want to make sure you have the right information. And, we can always talk about offline, but if you want to look at, financial stuff, but we really help people on every single level, whether you're just getting started out and you need a budget, maybe you need a free trust and a will, provide a lot of free resources, even some books. Or if you're on the other end and you're getting ready to save for retirement, you're already in retirement, you're just tired of losing money, well, let's have a conversation.
I know. And you guys, we're going to give you his information at the end of the show so you can reach out to him about what he does. But today, the question on the table, Caleb, is what am I grateful for today? So let me ask you, what are you grateful for today?
Yeah, I'll ask you guys, if you're at a spot in life where you're trying to figure out how to get to where you want to be, there's a few dominoes that you need to knock down and you just don't have the answers to them, I encourage you to reach out to people to try and find those answers. So what I did is there was a lot of questions that I had because I didn't know really much about business. I didn't know much about entrepreneurism a couple of years ago. So I started watching YouTube videos and a couple of people resonated with me, started going to their events, and at the events, I'm meeting other people that are trying to get to the same place I'm trying to go. And we became friends, and my friendships have grown, and it's led to even more connections over time. and they've been able to, provide with me, things that have helped me, and vice versa. One thing that I really like about entrepreneurism and the business world is, when somebody else wins at sitting at my table, well, I win too, right? It's not like a typical W-2 job where somebody gets that promotion, you lose. It's always a win-win for everybody. If Terrence wins, I'm winning, right? Because he's in my circle. When he wins, it elevates me as well. So getting yourself around people who are continuing to push you and grow you to be your best. And that's exactly what I did. I pushed through some fears, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons I am at where I am today is because of the connections made. I mean, without connecting with Terrence, this call wouldn't be happening right now. At least it wouldn't be me. It'd probably be somebody else that you'd be hearing from. But it's just the power of connections. One thing leads to another, and you're just one connection away from that piece of information you need to get that domino lined up to knock everything down and move yourself forward to where you want to be.
I like how you use that domino connection and also the analogy about I win, you win, because I believe that when you collaborate versus compete, the equation becomes when you win, I win, and together we win. And when you take that I out and you can replace it with the we, more people have the opportunity because of the connection, Caleb, to be winners. And that's what we do. We create winners. We take people into the connection and we promote the people that we bring into our circles, not out of competition, but out of collaboration. And I just over the last couple of months that we've known each other, I've seen the growth in you. I've seen you have wins. And because I've seen you have wins, I felt like I've won as well, because I feel like I've had some hand in whatever win you've had recently. So it's a great feeling to have, and I'm grateful for connections too. The Unstoppable Story Show is all about talking to ordinary people with extraordinary stories and connecting them with other people so that they can see, well, if Caleb can do it, then maybe, just maybe, with a little bit of resilience and with a little bit of tenacity and a little bit of connection, I can make it too. Do you see that happening in your life now, where you're creating not only connections for yourself, but connections for other people?
Yes. They say that success leaves clues. So
Yeah.
when people are following you, like I'm following people that have already paved the path, like maybe somebody like Terrence, who's a phenomenal speaker. If I'm following somebody like that, there's gonna be some success leaves because, like, obviously, getting some coaching, but you can literally just watch people and learn from them, and it's gonna, share with you what to do and bring those connections for you compared to trying to figure it out all on your own. Like, there's no reason for it when you can connect with phenomenal people. And the hardest thing to know in this space is who to trust. Like, who do I go through? Who do I trust? So you're going to find some people that you like really trust that are Von Comedy Kill is a winner. I love it. On the
Yeah,
Facebook.
feels like there's a connection right there. Who calls you a winner, right?
And Von's actually somebody that I met at an event. That's awesome. See, UnStopABLE too. Von's actually somebody I met at an event. He got me introduced to a program that was actually amazing. Taught me a lot of valuable leadership skills at that company that I started. And it was really amazing. I would have never had that opportunity to grow in that space if I never went to that event, if I never connected with Von. And we're still collaborating with different things down the road. He's pointing me to different people because we'll talk and be like, okay, I need some help in this area. Be like, I don't know somebody, or I don't know myself, but I know somebody that can help you. And one thing that I've learned is I don't know what I don't know, but I know somebody that does, and that's good enough for me, right? Because there's no way you know everything. I can guarantee you that Elon Musk doesn't know every single step of putting a spaceship together, but he knows the people that do, right? And he brings that all together. And when we all bring our pieces to the puzzle, to the table we're sitting at, we can all figure out and sort it out and make something beautiful happen. And there's not going to be missing pieces, right? If we got enough people sitting at those tables.
Yes. And in the roadmap of life, in the puzzle book of life, we're usually not given what the final piece of the puzzle is going to look like, but we are given puzzle pieces, and they're in other people, they're in other situations, they're in other opportunities where you get to take the circles and the intertwinings of your own puzzle piece and connect it with somebody else. And then that doesn't necessarily create the entire puzzle, but it gets you a little bit closer to the finished product than you were before. If I can connect with Caleb, and then Caleb can connect with Von, and then Von can connect with the next person, sooner Then later, then the whole puzzle comes together and it creates a beautiful tapestry. So I'm grateful for the connection with you as well, but I'm also grateful that you have some other things to be grateful for. And we're going to talk about those things after a quick commercial break from BTBS. It's Becoming the Best Speaker. It's an affiliate of BTBY, our nonprofit, Becoming the Better You. And Caleb is currently a student in our BTBS program. Talk a little bit about what it's been being in our 8-week program, Caleb.
Yeah, so it only started a few months ago, and I really believe that real recognizes real when it sees it. I was again, at an event making connections, right? And I met Brenda, who pretty much, runs BTBY with Terrence, phenomenal lady, incredible story. If you haven't checked out that story, like Terrence said, the story of how BTBY came to be what it is really amazing and an incredible story. A whole book could be written about it, like, to be honest. And I connected with her and just like recognized that I got the right vibes, like she's the right kind of person. And she said, "Hey, I'm having an event out in Kansas City. I would love to have you come out there. There's going to be Kevin Harrington, some other, guest speakers. And I think this would be an amazing opportunity for you." So I said, "Hey, my calendar's free on those dates. Let's go out there." And just one thing continued to lead to another. We were just talking about those connections. And I got to see in person what exactly BTBY is like, what's the actual culture. And it was amazing that the speakers were actually giving like real value, not just fluff, just enough to get them to buy their program, whatever. Like, they really vet their speakers because they want to have people there that are providing value and really helping people with where they're at and connecting with them. And also something I like too is those speakers that did share the stage, they were available to connect with after. Like a lot of events you go to, it's really hard to maybe speak to a speaker that is one of the top speakers there. Where this time around, I had the time. I had the time to connect with Brad and Nance. I had the time to connect with Kevin Harrington and share some words with them and get a little bit of advice. So I see the value they were pouring in. And when they opened up that BTBS program, Become the Better Speaker program, I said, I can't wait to get started. I'm really excited because I see the value you guys are giving. And since I've gotten started, night and day, I've jumped on like a one-on-one call with Terrence, and it really helped me break through I had the right information. I just didn't know how to implement it, and just changing my perspective on a few things with that one-on-one mentorship really did it for me. And now you guys see me posting regularly on social media, and all that happened because of BTBS.
Well, that is a great testimonial. If Caleb can do it, you can do it too. You just need the first step. So let's show you a little bit more about how you can be a part of the next BTBS class and become the best speaker you can be. Yes, yes, yes. So the next classes are starting in the beginning of 2025, but you can go on over to btbspeaker.com, and find out all the information about being a part of the class and getting ready to become, just like Caleb, the best speaker you can be. Thank you, Caleb, for hanging out with us here at the 21 Days of Gratitude on the Unstoppable Story Show. Hey, audience, if you have a story of gratitude and you want to possibly share your gratitude story on the Unstoppable Story Show, well, there's room. There is room in these 21 days for you to get in contact with us and let us know what you're grateful for. Simply send us a paragraph about your gratitude story to tleffridge@unstoppablecoaching.com. That's tleffridge@unstoppablecoaching.com. And who knows, you too might be a guest on the 21 Days of Gratitude on the Unstoppable Story Show. We're back with Caleb Bullard. He's talking about gratitude. He talked about something that a lot of people are grateful for. They're grateful for the connections. But this other thing, Caleb, a lot of people may be grateful for it, but may not really want to share it with people. And you said that you are grateful for failures? Really?
Yeah. So a lot of people have the wrong perspective on failing, and I think that it comes from in school, right? If we fail, we have to take things over again. Failing isn't good. But when it comes to entrepreneurs and business, there's so many lessons that's learned in the failing, and it's really called failing forward, right? You only fail in my mind if you quit. If you keep going, you're going to continue to learn, continue to get better. So when I first got started in entrepreneurism, I didn't know who to go to. I didn't know who to trust. Started investing money into programs, mentors, courses, just trying to find that one thing that's real and that thing that would help me, that opportunity for myself. Because I think that there's really three things it takes to become successful. The first is having the right opportunity for yourself. The second is having the right connections. And the last is having the right knowledge. Because there's a lot of knowledge out there, but you don't want to be implementing the wrong knowledge and be taking steps backward without knowing it. And that's what happened to me. I was taking a lot of advice from people, and it wasn't helping me. It was actually hurting me, and I didn't see it until later on. But there's different programs I started that just didn't work out. I gave it my best foot forward, and you'll realize that while you're failing, you don't realize this in the failing or whenever you feel like you're in a lull and things aren't working out, but you're actually growing during that time. So I always tell people, like, we all go through adversity, but are you growing through the adversity, right? Because regardless, life's going to throw things at you. Are you going to use that as an opportunity to grow yourself? And I'm just thankful I did decide to make that decision, because now, after going through a lot of different adversity, I could share some things with you guys if you offline, if you want to talk with me and what you're going through and see how I can help. But there's a lot of adversity I went through. I went through adversity financially, relationship-wise, a lot of different things, because I just, at the time, like, there's just like things that you have to go through the hard way. I hate to say it. Like, you can read books, you can connect with people, you can talk to, somebody like Terrence and get help. But at the end of the day, like, you're not going to know every little step of the way. There's some things that you are going to have to figure out. So you have to be okay. You have to get comfortable with failing and just recognize that it's an opportunity to grow, how to do things better instead of continue to do things, the wrong way, and how to really get to where you want to be and becoming that best version of you. So I'm really grateful for all those failures that have happened in the past, whether I went to an event, it wasn't as advertised, or I purchased a program and it was far from what it was told to be, or made a connection and somebody steered me wrong. Those were all opportunities for me to grow as a person and learn, become more resilient. You need to be resilient. If you're going to be in the entrepreneur space, in the business space, I can guarantee you that Terrence has seen his fair share of resilience. It's one thing I'm really thankful for in the Army too. Real on the sidebar, we're talking about gratitude, is the principles that I learned in the Army, right? Leadership, loyalty, duty, respect, self-service, honor, integrity, personal courage. It all comes down to like being super resilient, because life's going to throw things at you, and it's just like, what can you make it?
Well, yeah, I have definitely had my share of failures, and I've had to have my share of resilient moments as well. I can't tell anybody to be unstoppable if I'm not willing to be unstoppable myself. So I can't be stopped by failures. But someone mentoring me along my way as a speaker and an entrepreneur, he hit me up to this ideal that failure is not fatal. Somebody's going to get that later. Failure is not fatal. And many times we create this whole story around failure that, oh my God, I could just die because of that failure, because of something that went wrong or something didn't go the way you wanted it to go. So I had to repurpose and reposition and reset my mind to the ideal of that. Just because I failed, Caleb, doesn't mean I'm a failure. Let me tell you a quick story. There is a product that has been around for over 50 years, 50 years, but it came out of a number of failures. There's these two scientists that wanted to make the best household product they could, because at the time all the parents and all of the, at that point, mostly women of America, were house at home, taking care of the home, cleaning the home. And so one of the hardest problems was to be able to clean the grease and the grime off of your stove. So these scientists, they vowed to come up with a solution. And they went into their lab and they put all these chemicals together and they thought they came up with a great solution, tested it, and it failed. They went back, changed some chemicals, changed some formulas, put it out there again, and it failed. Now, at this point, mere mortals, they would have gave up after the second, third try. These scientists went on to try again 10 times. They went on again to try 100 times, Caleb. Now, certainly after 100 times, if you failed 100 times, this product wasn't supposed to happen. This isn't it, right, Caleb? Wouldn't you think that as well? Well, not these two scientists. They went on and not only failed 100 times, but they failed 200 times. They failed 300 times. Caleb, they even failed 400 times. Now, clearly, after the 400 time, it's a wrap. Put it up, night, night, baby, bye bye, right? Mm-mm. They had resilience. They not only failed 400 times, but they failed 401, 402, 403, 404, 405, 406, 407, 408. They failed at getting this product right 408 times. But listen, on the other side of failure is triumph if you just keep going. So they said, one more again, we gonna give this one more try. And on the 409th try, they found the perfect combination of chemicals and formulas to make the perfect product so that families all over the country, all over the world, Caleb, can now cut grease and grime on their stove at any time. Do you know what the name of that product was?
Nope.
The name of the product is aptly called Formula 409.
Wow.
You see
Wow.
it in a spray bottle, sitting on kitchen cabinets, under kitchen sinks, all across the world. It is the number one grease fighting product on the market, and it came out of 408 failures. But that 409th try is when it became a success. Now, Caleb, let me ask you, and whoever's watching us live in a replay, how many times have you tried something even 4 times, much less 409 times? You want to talk about some resilience? You want to talk about grateful for the failures? Oh, yeah, I think those two scientists and their families and their legacy are grateful that they didn't stop even though they failed. I think they're grateful for the failures because out of the failures became triumph. And that's a lesson for anybody who is watching this show right now. And I'm grateful for you, Caleb, for sharing that you're grateful for the failures as well. And we could probably talk about this for another 20 days, but we got to let it go for this show. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to just let them know how they can get in contact with you if they want to share more with you about what you're grateful for, or if they want to get some great financial information from you so that they won't fail in their finances.
Yes, definitely. So one thing that I've realized is that it's hard to be in a bad attitude when you're grateful and thankful for something. So I encourage each of you, just send me one thing that you're grateful for. If you're listening to this, just send me one thing that you're grateful for and test out what I'm saying. And I'm telling you, it's going to put yourself in a better mood wherever you're at when you are in that space of gratefulness. So reach out to me on Instagram, Caleb Bullard 360. Caleb, Bullard 360 on Instagram, and send me a DM with the number one thing that you're grateful for this season.
Absolutely. Yes, 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 Vaughn. Yeah, 409. You wondered where they got that name. That's where they got it from being grateful for the failures. So if you want to have a deeper conversation with Caleb, reach him on his IG, Caleb Bullard 360. And Caleb, we thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the 21 Days of Gratitude. We appreciate you, and we look forward to talking to you and continuing to be grateful for our connection going into 2025. Okay?
Right on, Terrence. It is a pleasure being on here and sharing the stage with you.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. This is Caleb Bullard. Check him out on his IG page, Caleb Bullard 360. And hey, you guys, thank you for spending time with us on the 21 days of gratitude on the Unstoppable Story Show. I'm your host, Terrence, the Unstoppable Coach Leffridge. And as I always say, wherever you are in the world today, you know what I say. Don't just make it a great day, but be grateful for all the things that are happening in your life and make it an unstoppable day. Take care.